All right, class, we have made it. We are to the very last lesson in Chapter 8, 8.5. We're going to do this all in one day. And we are done, finally, with Chapter 8. Okay, we'll do a couple reviews, and then we'll take the test when I get back. Here is our last one for Chapter 8. We're going to look at, so this is the type of equation we are used to working with, where we have two different lines. We have this line and we have this one, and then when we solve this system, we get a spot where the two lines cross. Okay, so we get actual coordinates where these two lines would cross if we were going to graph them. Okay, these are the type of equations we have been working with. And if we were going to go through the steps of solving this one, okay, we'd like to use our shortcuts that we've been using because they're really nice to use. I want to use the stack and add shortcut. So I would take my bottom equation, my second equation, and I would multiply that by 2 so that I can use the shortcut and stack and add. Okay, so looking at my bottom equation, I'm going to drop a 2 bomb on that. Okay, and when I do that, I'm going to multiply everything by 2. And this is what it's going to look like after I do that. Okay, so there's my second equation. I've multiplied everything by 2, just like the steps we've been doing in the last couple of lessons. Okay, same exact thing. Now I'm going to stack and add. I'm going to take my first equation and move it right underneath of this second equation so that I can add them up. Okay, I put my first equation right underneath. Now I'm ready to add these together so I can start solving it. My x's are going to come out to 10x. My y's are going to cancel. Okay, and I get 20 when I add up my numbers. So x is going to come out to 2. All right, so now I have my x coordinate. And now what I need to do is take 2, and I can either put it into this equation or the second equation. I'm going to substitute it for x so that I can find out what y is by doing some algebra. All right? Now I like the first equation a whole lot better because then I don't have to deal with this pesky negative y down here. All right? So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to put it into that x. I'm going to swap out that x for 2, and I'm going to rewrite what I have. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8 plus 2y equals 14. All right, all I did is I put the 2 right here, multiplied by 4. That gave me 8, and I wrote everything else down. Now I just need to solve this. Okay, I'm down to 2y equals 6, so then y is going to equal 3. Okay, there's my coordinates. I have a number for x, and I have a number for y. Okay, so that means if we were to graph these two lines, they would cross at 2, 3. That would be the coordinates where these two lines would cross. Okay, so when you have a system that has one solution like this, we have one answer, one spot where they cross. All right, we have coordinates. That means the lines will cross. Okay, all right, so our rule is for algebra, for this type of equation, is when x equals any number and y equals any number. Okay, so they could be the same exact number, like 3 and 3, or it could be a different number. Okay, so as long as we get a number for x and a number for y, whether it's the same number or a different number, as long as we get one number for x, one number for y, then we know that the lines will cross. Okay? If you get coordinates, if you get a number for x, a number for y, the lines are going to cross. All right? Now let's take a look at some other types of systems where we don't get any coordinates. Okay? So we're going to take a look at what those are going to look like if we solve them. Okay, let's take a look at another type of system. And this one's going to have no solution. Okay, there is going to be no point in time where these two lines cross. And let's take a look at how we can tell if we have one of those that will not have a solution, where the two lines will never cross. We're going to go through our steps and solve these, just like we have been doing. Okay, so looking at this system, what I want to do so that I can stack and add and use my shortcut is I want to multiply my bottom equation by 2. Okay, I'm going to drop a 2 bomb on my bottom equation. So I'm going to multiply everything on the bottom by 2. And when I do that, I am going to get negative 4x plus 6y equals 8. Okay, I'm going to get negative 6 or negative 4x plus 6y equals 8. Now I'm going to take my top equation and I want to stack and add. I'm going to put that right underneath of the new equation. Okay, so I got them stacked up. Now I'm going to add them together. And what's going to happen, you may have looked at it already and seen what's going to happen, is both our x's and y's cancel out. Our 4x's are going to cancel out. Our 6y's are going to cancel out. So we're left with 0 on this side. We have no more x's. We have no more y's. And we get 17 on this side. So if this happens, where we get our x's and y's cancel out, so we're left with 0 on one side, and then we're left with a different number on the other side. So if you get an equation where the answer is 0 with a different number on the other side, like this one, what happens is that these lines are parallel. Okay, if you were going to graph those two lines, they would be parallel. They would be run right next to each other, and they would never touch. All right? That's what it looks like when we have a no solution, because they'll never touch. The lines are parallel. So the rule is, the algebra rule is, when we have one number on one side, like A, okay, and then we have a totally different number on the other side, like B. So basically the numbers are not going to equal each other, like 0 and 17. So when we get two numbers on each side, it means we have parallel lines. Okay, that's what that tells us. That's what a no solution system would look like when you try and solve it. All right, let's take a look at another type. And this one's going to have infinite solutions. Okay, we're going to take a look at one that would have infinite solutions. Okay, so here's our system up on the board, and I still want to use that shortcut, my stack and add, so I have to decide what I'm going to multiply one of these equations by to get it to cancel out. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this bottom equation, I'm going to multiply it by 4. Okay, I'm going to drop a 4 bomb on the bottom equation. Okay, so when I do that, I'm going to rewrite it. Okay, I multiplied everything by 4. I rewrote the equation up there. Now I'm going to write my other equation right underneath of it so I can stack and add. This one is going to go right here. Alright, I got to make that a negative sign. Sorry about that. Negative 8y equals negative 4. Alright, we stacked them up. Now we're ready to use our shortcut. We can add them together. And look what's going to happen when we add them together. It's like the whole entire thing is just going to cancel. Alright, so we're left with 0 on this side, and we're left with 0 on that side. Okay, so when you work out a problem like this, and they come out to the same number on each side, okay, it's usually going to be 0 and 0. If they come out to the same number on each side, what that means is when you graph these two lines, they are actually going to be the same line. Alright? So when you graph these two, the lines are going to be, okay, I better put the word be there so I don't get in trouble with the English teachers. But they will be the same line. Alright? So basically, it's just going to be one line. Because it's always crossing if it's the same line. They're always crossing each other. So our algebra rule is if the number, whatever it is, equals the same exact number, so if we get the same on each side, then that means we have the same line. Alright? So we could either have one solution where the two lines are going to cross, just like all the problems we've been doing in Chapter 8. We can have no solution, where the lines never cross, they're parallel. Or we can have infinite solutions, like this one, where they are the same exact line, and because of that, they're always crossing. Okay, check out this, try this problem, work this one out, and then see if you can decide which type of solution it's going to have. One solution, no solution, or infinite solution. Okay, so Miss Manir, you can hit pause and let them work this one out, and then we'll take a look at the answer when they get done. Okay, so there's our answer to the try this problem. I dropped a 3 bomb on the first equation. Multiplied everything by 3. Okay, then I took my second equation, moved it over here, stacked it up. When I added those together, when I did the stack and add, it came out to 0 on each side. So this one is going to be infinite. Okay. It is the same exact line. All right. That is it. You guys are officially done with Chapter 8. Nice job. Go ahead and work on your last homework set for our Chapter 8 lessons. And then when I come back, we'll be doing some review, and then we'll get ready for the Chapter 8 test. All right? Go ahead and get started on your homework, please. Thank you.
1, 2, 3.